Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and today we are doing another review for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13 episode 3. And this episode today is called It's Not About the Pants. So we continue, the ladies continue being in Vegas. We saw them in the last episode where they just arrived at Vegas, pretty much getting ready and whatnot, and, getting themselves together as far as, selling in for the trip. And most of the ladies are eating lunch at this point, and Garcelle pops in the scene like, hey. And everyone's like, the rest of them are just chilling eating lunch. And minus Erica, because she hasn't arrived yet. And she's like, what are we doing? Let's go find some man. Because you kind of can see the beginning. This is a little bit foreshadowing a couple of times in this episode where Garcelle and Erica are going to get closer, which I hope this doesn't bite her in the butt later. But you can kind of see it happening because they're like the single girls and they're ready to be outside. And it's cracking me up. I kind of love it. I kind of do like the dynamic if it's genuine. And not really on Garcelle's end, more on Erica's end. But anyway, so Garcelle, to spice up the scene a little bit more, she decides, hey, let's have an intervention for Sutton about her dating. And so this is and by the way, this whole entire scene is a very light, fun scene where they're basically just like, Sutton, why do you not get a second date? Because she's a one-date wonder. She said it in the last episode, she's a one-date wonder. She struggles with dating. And so Sutton's going to detail the things that happened. So one of the things that she mentioned was after she had a really, really great first date, she decides to invite this guy to a gala in New York for the second date. And feedback-wise, this is how I feel about it. Sutton really needs to release control. It's getting out of hand. And we'll see this more throughout the episode, how it plays out. But at least in this particular scenario, when she mentions that, it's very clear that she is kind of in a weird way, and this is not really a masculine or this isn't really me trying to say she's being the man in a relationship. I'm trying to say it, but not say it in a way where it's offensive. I'm trying to think of a way of saying it. Like, she's almost just like, she's leaning very heavy in her masculine energy. I'll just say that. And not really letting her feminine energy come out as much and letting, go of control. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. She's being a ridiculous control freak. And you see it plays out throughout this whole entire episode that that's her thing. But it's like obnoxiously kind of annoying. I mean, I love Sutton. Sutton's actually one of my favorite people to watch because she's great reality TV, but her version of her being control freak and Dorit's version from the last episode, they're both annoying, but in different ways. Sutton comes from, she's a powerhouse. She literally has made it where she doesn't need a man. And the problem is, I think even in her first date, she's exuding that energy of, I don't need a man. So she's not getting a second date. And I understand it because I mean, full transparency, it's a struggle, not quite to her extreme that I even have. So I know it when I see it. And also, too, Sutton's extremely awkward. So there's that. But anyway, while this is happening and they're talking about it, she gives her phone to Kyle, which I don't know why she did that. And Kyle FaceTimes someone because Kyle's going to do that. Kyle is full on being a teenager this season. She's embraced being a teenager this season. That is my conclusion with Kyle. She's literally being kind of a teen. I'm not sure how I feel about Kyle yet this season. But like, she's kind of being a teen. Because this was like an example of her being a teen, but it's okay when it's not. I guess to me, it wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't always in Sutton's expense. Like, it doesn't come off like you're being fun. It comes off like you're laughing at Sutton. And I think that's my problem with how Kyle behaves and acts towards Sutton. I think Sutton takes it like, oh, you're being one of those fun friends who likes to rip me, and kind of joke with me. That's Garcelle, because Garcelle does do that, but it's more of a fun, lighthearted banter, not really mean-spirited. To me, it comes across, at least when Kyle's involved, it's not really fun. It's more like, I'm laughing at you, not with you. So I'm not gonna lie. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, Kyle, why? I'm not Kyle, but oh my gosh, Sutton, why would you give your phone to Sutton? I mean, why would you give your phone to Kyle? Sutton, you can't do that. And she even said it too right away. But outside of that, outside my feedback, because I'm actually kind of just reading in a way in between the lines of previous seasons how Kyle and Sutton's dynamic is, which will actually come out later on this episode too, so it all makes sense. But yeah. Anyway, so the next scene, not really next scene. I feel like this episode was kind of one huge long scene because this is the first cast trip, and cast trips are kind of like, it's a one long scene because it's all the same day. But basically, the ladies are getting ready to go out. So they all have their glam, minus Dorit and Kyle. And so Dorit and Kyle are getting themselves ready, but everyone else has glam. Crystal is mentioning that she wants to, so she has her glam squad there because they're there for Crystal's 40th birthday. And so she has this $16,100 Valentino purse that she wants to have with her outfit, and it was gorgeous. And again, the ambiance that is Beverly Hills. And then Sutton's basically trying to get ready, but she wants to find her pants. She can't find her pants. And by the way, this is mentioned more than once. Sutton does not like wearing pants, basically. And I don't really know why, but she doesn't like wearing pants. And so, but she couldn't find them. And so Avi, her assistant, which I didn't know he was at the trip. Apparently he's at the trip. He comes out. He's in trouble because she can't find her pants. Because remember how last episode I mentioned that Avi, the assistant, got there ahead of time and unpacked all her things and put her closet and everything together and just pretend Garcelle wasn't there at all and didn't leave her any closet space. That was not a Sutton call. That's what Avi did. And so Sutton's actually kind of annoyed because she can't find her things because she did not unpack her things. Sutton would have preferred to have unpacked her things herself, which also might explain why Garcelle let it go fairly quickly, because it wasn't really something Sutton wanted. Avi just went the extreme because the way she kind of treats her assistant, I think she's trying to be funny, but it doesn't come across great. She's kind of looking like the character from Devil Wears Prada. She's giving that energy of being a little too extreme with that. So I'm kind of so you need to tread lightly how you're dealing with your assistant. But anyway, so that happens. And anyway, she finds her pants. She mentioned something before they actually go out in the Sprinter van to go to Magic Mike about how she doesn't like wearing pants. This sounds silly, but it makes sense. Okay, so they arrive at Magic Mike. And this is Erica's event that she put together. It actually shows, it goes back in the flashback showing Erica setting it up with one of the dancers from Magic Mike because apparently she knows a lot of them. Probably in her years of entertainment, because she's done. She has a music career, and she also is controversial, all of that. Because if y'all know Erica Jane's backstory, I don't need to say anything else. But also, I'm not going to get into all that because that's not what this is about. Oh, by the way, before I go any further with this review, I should state that this review is not going to be very long because this episode wasn't super long. It was actually pretty quick and easy, and I did enjoy the episode. I probably should have said at the beginning, but anyway, let's go back into it. So it shows Erica talking to the dancer, getting it set up, and Erica in her confessional saying, hey, I'm determined to get Crystal to have a good time. This is going to be lit. It's going to be everything. And so the show starts and all the ladies are having a blast. Sutton's the only one that's kind of just looking like a stick in the mud, to be honest. She's just kind of just like this, like awkwardly being there, while everyone else is just like whooping it up and just having a good time. And mind you, I probably should mention this. Kyle is not drinking anymore. I think I mentioned this in the first episode, but Kyle's still not drinking and she's still just having a good time. So literally everyone's having a good time, minus Sutton. Sutton doesn't quite look like she's not having a good time. But yeah, so Sutton's actually just visibly annoyed. Like it's very obvious to the point where, so while she's visibly annoyed, Erica and Crystal get pulled on stage. And the reason why Sutton's wearing pants, I should probably mention that. So at the very beginning, I think in the very last episode, when they were on the way to Vegas, Erica did mention for this Magic Mike show, if you want to go on stage, you should probably wear pants, because it was kind of foreshadowing of this, of what could happen while you're on stage. But just because you don't wear pants doesn't necessarily mean you won't be on stage. It's just foreshadowing. Just saying. So Sutton was like overly excited, like, yeah, I'm gonna wear pants. It's gonna be great. So, because she really wanted to go on stage. And anyway, so Erica and Crystal end up getting on stage. And this causes a lot of contention, and I'm kind of confused too on what Sutton was truly upset about. Because anyway, because you could tell she was just annoyed the whole time. But okay, so next, while this is happening, Erica and Crystal are having the routine happen. And then Erica is just being like a showman, doing what she does, and has her legs spread wide eagle. And the guy just has his face in the place. It's just like, oh my God. But it's a Magic Mike show though. It's male stripper review. Why are you surprised? So as this is happening, this is where Sutton has enough, and she decides she's going to go to the restroom, super upset, and storms away. But before that, Garcelle does notice that she's upset, just asking, is everything okay? And no, Sutton's just getting annoyed, and so Sutton leaves, and then she literally storms out of there, turning the mic off, everything else. Foreshadowing of what I mentioned in the last episode, like towards the end of the last episode. This is where we're seeing this happen. And it really does still come off that she was uncomfortable by like what happened with Erica, spread wide eagle, face in place. She didn't like it. And so Garcelle does go after her to console her, because she's not going to leave her out there by herself. And at first, Garcelle is like talking to Sutton, like in the restroom. She's like, can you come out of the restroom so we can actually talk? Because I'm pretty sure she went in the restroom because she wanted to get like off mic. She didn't want to she mic'd up. And yeah, so they're talking about this. And Dorit is annoyed because she sees Sutton leaving. Dorit's annoyed by the behavior. And Garcelle is just confused. Just like I kind of am, just as a viewer. Garcelle is us as viewers. Like, this is one of the reasons why I love Garcelle on the show, Because Garcelle, like, it's like if a viewer was one of the housewives, that's Garcelle. Garcelle be doing, we see each other when like her reactions and things. So Garcelle's just kind of like, what just happened here? I'm confused. And Kyle, so while this is happening, the rest of the girls are still inside enjoying the show. Kyle's next to be invited upstage. Kyle does not have pants on, by the way. She has a dress. And the guy puts whipped cream on her and just licks it off of her, and then puts whipped cream on her leg and licks the whipped cream off her leg. Like, she's still on stage enjoying herself. So the thing is, you actually did not have to have pants on. And so after she gets on stage, she actually goes next after Garcelle and Sutton to find out what's going on with Sutton. Immediately, Kyle makes it worse because Kyle does not know how to console anyone. She doesn't know how to do it. And I don't know if she realizes that or she does on purpose. I feel like she kind of does on purpose. But yeah, she does not know how to console people. She just doesn't. So instead of like saying like, is everything okay? She's like, is this about the pants? Like, are you mad that you didn't get picked to go on stage? Like, she literally comes with that kind of energy, which makes Sutton just more upset. So Sutton, instead of like trying to like explain what's happening, because Sutton's actually was more, according to Sutton, she was more uncomfortable about the behavior of the women. So of Erica facing the place thing, she thought that was kind of like, she thinks she's above that. But I'm confused. I'm confused too, just like probably when you're hearing this, you're probably confused too. So also too, Kyle wasn't really invited to like go console like Sutton, and really Garcelle wasn't either, but Garcelle is more of a voice of reason where Sutton's not going to get activated basically, and Kyle is going to activate her because Kyle just doesn't know how to console people, and she kind of comes across more confrontational versus consoling. And so basically it just went to hell. The conversation went to hell. It just got worse and worse, and Sutton's being super annoyed, and it's just a hot mess. Like, and then now Garcelle, instead of like trying to calm Sutton down, now she's trying to be a mediator between the two of them because things are getting heated because Kyle's calling BS on what Sutton's upset about. Even though Sutton literally told you what she's upset about, but she doesn't believe her. She thinks that Sutton is upset about not being chosen to be picked up on stage, which Garcelle, in her confessional before she went to console Sutton, also thought that too. So there is that. She doesn't say it to her face. See, there's a difference. But Kyle did. And also the pants thing, which is why the episode's called is not about the pants, because she's like, it's not about the pants. Because Sutton really does not like wearing pants. If you've watched the show since Sutton's been on the show, I feel like she said that more than once, not even just like this episode. She like never wears pants. Like Sutton really does not like wearing pants. And maybe it's just like a body image thing. Who knows? I think it was explained before, but I don't remember. Y'all can tell me in the comments what it is. But anyway, so Garcelle suggests this because things are getting a little out of hand, and they're like, right now they're like in the lobby of like the hotel, or outside of like because I think the review is in one of the hotels in Vegas. I didn't go to see Magic Mike while I was in Vegas, so I don't remember where it's at. I do know where they're staying at though, because that was actually where I was going to stay for the race I did earlier this year. I just decided not to because I personally don't like Vegas. So yeah. Anyway, so Garcelle suggests just like going into the Sprinter van, and Kyle texts, Crystal to let her know, hey, things aren't good. We're going to Sprinter van. And Crystal does proceed to leave to go to the Sprinter van, which And then Dorit and Erica did not. They stayed till the end of the show. They're like, no, we're going to stay till the end of the show. So they did eventually join them in the Sprinter van, but they waited until the show was over with. And my feedback on this whole situation that I just explained is that I am kind of annoyed of Sutton's behavior. I thought she was being too much. She was over the top. She did come across as a prude on my screen. And if you are a prude, then why are you going to a Magic Mike show? I feel like that's, you know what you're going to get going to a male strip show. Like, I'm surprised that she was surprised that this is what took place. Like, I'm confused by that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. That's like me being a prude, and then if I get invited to Magic City in Atlanta, which is a female strip club, I'm going to still go. Even though I know they're going to be, because in the South, those women's strip clubs, they're completely naked. And they are popping it and working it. And if I was a prude, I would never want to go to that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, me being me, I'm open to whatever. I don't really care. But if I was a true prude, I would not want to go to something like that. You know what I mean? So to me, that is kind of like, I'm not understanding Sutton in this. And normally I want to be on the side of Sutton because I like her, and I like her and Garcelle's dynamic. But even Garcelle was just like, girl, I can't even be on your side on this one. I don't know what you're doing, because literally Sutton was spiraling and almost ruined everyone's night. And I find it really annoying that she would do that for someone's birthday. Honestly, even if you felt a way about where you were at, that was not your event, number one, or the reason why you're even here. Erica, you're insulting both the hosts, which Erica was a host of this event, and you're also insulting Crystal. It is Crystal's birthday. It's not about you. And even in the confessional, Dorit was like, you're making it about you. I don't agree with what Dorit said about that Sutton always makes it about herself. I don't think she always does it, but she did in this case. And one thing that is great about Sutton, but also bad, is her self-awareness is lacking at times. But usually in her way, it's usually awkward and fun and kind of funny. This was a case of it being kind of like, you're coming off like pretty self-absorbed and like a spoiled brat. So Dorit finally does join in the Sprinter van. Erica's staying outside cooling off because Erica actually is kind of annoyed and does call Sutton Judge Judy, because she was being judgy. So she was being judgy boots. I mean, there no lies being told there. And so Sutton mentions that she's trying to explain things before it blows up. And Garcelle's like, girl, it's too late. You did too much already, which she's not wrong. No lies told there. And Garcelle in the confessional is like, child, once Erica comes here, it's going to pop off, because they're used to how Erica typically reacts to these type of situations. Well, Erica does get in the van, and Sutton explains her discomfort to Erica, and Erica's like, I'm sorry that you felt discomfort, but like, I enjoy myself and everyone else enjoy themselves, and you're not going to ruin my night. And she said exactly like that. And it wasn't stern, it wasn't aggressive, it was very just as a matter of fact. And everyone was just like, wait, what? Because Erica normally would fly off the handle and make it would have been a scene typically. And so Erica came across so unbothered. And I'm like, this is the Erica Jane that I miss. I want Erica to be more like this. Before she got in all these she didn't get in legal troubles. Her ex-husband got in all these legal troubles. I kind of did like Erica Jane as a character. I liked her before. It's once the legal stuff and how she handled that I was like, ma'am. But in this case, she came across unbothered. She was like, and she said in her confessional, she's like, I said I was giving up fighting for Lent. I'm not fighting over this, and I'm not going to let Sutton ruin my night. Like, I had a great night. I was on the stage. I was having a good time, which I totally agree. She was having a good time, and it would be just a bummer to let one person ruin your night that shouldn't be there. Real quick though, let me tell you story time. It's not a story time. So I guess I kind of felt a certain way about this scene and how Sutton was acting, because I've had this type of thing happen to me a little bit. So this was years ago. I think I was like maybe 23, 24, younger. And so this is, and also before I lived in Chicago. One of my friends was here for her like birthday. I don't remember what birthday it was, but we decided to go on a day trip / night trip to Chicago. And we went out for some drinks. After we went out for some drinks, and we decided we were going to go to a bar or a club to dance, and then, after that, then go home. And if it would have been just the two of us, everything would have been great. We had one of her friends, which, by the way, spoiler alert, she's no longer friends with this lady, ruined the whole entire trip. All she wanted to do once we got to the hotel was just chill at the hotel. She did not want to do anything with us. Like, we wanted to pregame before we went out. She didn't want to do that. She just wanted to stay in the hotel. And then when we got to one of the bars that I suggested, because my friend is not as familiar with Chicago as I am, I was like, well, let's go to Smart Bar. You'll enjoy it. It'll be a good time. And so we went, and unbeknownst to us, this was like the most pleasant surprise ever. It was DJ Cascade, which is a dance DJ artist, like kind of major, and also his stomping ground, aka his hometown, is Chicago. So he was having an album release party, unbeknownst to us, at the bar. So normally it's free to get into Smart Bar, but it was only $10. But it was an album release party, and this is when that kind of music was a thing. So that's when your Dave Guetta and all them were a thing. So it was actually kind of a big deal that he was there and he was only charging $10. It was the most happiest accidents that you could ever ask for. So we end up going, all three of us. And this lady the whole entire time is complaining and doesn't want to be there. And I felt so bad for my friend, and I actually kind of almost took it out on her. I almost went off on her friend, because I was like, you're ruining your friend's birthday. This is her birthday. So we ended up leaving early because of her friend ruining the birthday, even though she knew this is like kind of how she is. Like, you're going to a nightclub. So to me, I ain't gonna lie, watching this episode, I felt a little triggered, because I'm just like, if you know what type of event you're going to, and if it's not your scene, just don't go. Or suck it up, Buttercup, and enjoy the night. Which, by the way, Dorit literally said that in the confessional. Suck it up, Buttercup. You could have enjoyed the night and just not did all that. And she also mentioned in her confessional, like, so you thought that was unclassy to do what Erica was doing for entertainment, but yet you thought it was classy that you stormed out of someone else's event and made a scene. And I'm just like, I agree with Dorit there. That was that was in poor taste. You don't do that. You don't disrespect someone else's event like that. If you don't want to be there, then don't go. As adults, we know what we're getting ourselves into 9 times out of 10. So if you already know what the event's going to be about, then don't go. Okay, so then, anyway, We next also, and then before we conclude the Sprinter van and get to dinner, Crystal does provide her feedback, being the voice of reason. She's like, so son, let me ask you this. How does it feel that even though you're offended, no one else was? Like, I'm married. Dorit's married. Kyle's married. I wasn't offended. I was comfortable. You're the only one. And also, as a person who was getting the stuff done to, I wasn't offended. So why do you find that, like, so, and there, that's also another layer there. It's like, if the person who is consenting to that, why would you be offended then? And also, too, Kyle even states in her confessional, and this is even before we knew about. I mean, we already know that things aren't quite together with Kyle, and Mauricio. But she's like, Mauricio would not be offended about me going to a Magic Mike show or everything that took place there. He would not be offended. He would think it's silly. And even Sutton said when Kyle mentioned the whipped cream being put all over her, that was silly, but the other thing wasn't. And to me, it's like, it's the same thing. It's all part of the performance. It doesn't make sense. And maybe someone who a little bit is more conservative can explain this to me, but I'm just not there because I don't understand it. I don't understand where and why her annoyance was as elevated as it was. It was like, I can understand you feel uncomfortable, but just kind of keep it to yourself. She just went to 10 on it though. So anyway, next they go to dinner, and Sutton does, once they all sit down at the dinner table, she does apologize to Erica about her behavior. Erica accepts it. She just kind of lets it go. And everyone's still surprised by how Erica's behaving because she's not, flying off the handle or whatnot. And so then somehow it comes up about, Sutton and them are asking, okay, so what's the agenda for tomorrow? They're talking about the agenda for tomorrow. And then Garcelle does mention, hey, I am going to scoot away and hang out with Oliver for a little bit. And she does briefly, and then Erica does ask Garcelle, just kind of like more next to her, because Garcelle and Erica sit next to each other. She's like, so what's going on with him and his ex-wife? And he's like, yeah, the divorce is almost finalized. So we find out Oliver's divorce is almost finalized. And for those who aren't aware, this actually kind of took place on camera, but not on this show. So Oliver was on Vanderpump Rules. LVP used to be part of the Beverly Hills cast forever. She actually was what made Beverly Hills. She was actually that girl. But now she has her own spinoff show. She's probably one of the few that has had a long-term spinoff show that's successful, especially after last season. Last season, they had the scandal and everything. But anyway, Garcelle's older son, who's, adult son, is on the show, and he's married, but he kind of had an affair with someone on the cast while they were filming. So yeah, the marriage is no longer a thing because of that. So that's kind of, if you watch other shows on Bravo, that's why that happened. And Oliver has been on the show a couple times with Garcelle. She was on there last season, and then she was on there 2 seasons ago. So yeah. Anyway, 2 seasons ago. Okay. So while they're talking about it, in her confessional, Garcelle does state that she does not feel comfortable talking to the ladies about her son or her kids due to, she only has boys. So her sons, due to what happened last season, and rightfully so. But right now she's only stating this in the confessional. It's going to play out later. It's foreshadowing, but she does stay in the confessional, and she's like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable talking to them about that. And then they do pan over to last season when Erica cussed out Jax, drunkenly cuss out Jax. And then Kyle, Mauricio, PK, and Dorit all proceeded to laugh about it in another scene that did not air originally. So yeah, rightfully so. I would not trust these ladies when it comes to my family either. But the rest of the ladies don't know this yet. This is all in the confessional. So next, they kind of move on and they decide to play a card game. And it's a card game that just has questions on it. And, but before they do that, they notice that like Sutton is comedically struggling eating this fish ball with chopsticks. And they all kind of joke while they're looking at her. It's like, oh, this is why her dates are the way they are. So it's kind of a whole entire thing. So that's what happens there. So next, they play the card game, as I mentioned. Dorit asks the first question, and the first question is, what's your favorite song to, go to Pound Town for? Go to Pound Town too. And Crystal states Al Green, and they're all kinds of like, which I even did that too, because Crystal's my age, so it's kind of odd. Al Green's not really our generation, but okay. And then Sutton mentions like some type of country artist, and Kyle shades her in the confessional about like, it's probably the Nutcracker. I'm just shading her. We're kind of seeing that. I feel like this is a foreshadow also that Kyle and Sutton's relationship is not going to be, they're not going to have a friendship that much longer. It's breaking down. And really the friendship was kind of one-sided anyway, because Sutton used to just be like a doormat. And I think, because I forgot to mention that Sutton did call Kyle a B when they were arguing, and they went back and forth a little bit. And Sutton before wouldn't have done that. Sutton normally has just been kind of like Kyle's punching bag, and that's not happening. But Kyle is on a different kind of energy this season too. So it's going to probably break down. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. So then next, the next question was, so would it turn you on being watched while getting to it? And Garcelle answers that she'll be okay with it, but she'd rather be the one who watches. And, they get a nice little kiki out of it. And then Erica in confessional is like, see, it's normally those quiet, reserved ones that they're the freaks. It's fun. It was cute. And then the next question was, how many times a week do you have the business? And Erica states, not enough. she's like, not enough. And I was just kind of like, yeah, same. And Sutton states, if she had a person, she prefaces like, if I had a person, it would be twice a day. And then as soon as she said that, everyone on the table is just kind of like shadingly looking at her, because again, this is all still right after everything transpired about her discomfort of a sexual act that was a performance that wasn't really that bad in a lot of their opinions, including mine. Like, I didn't see anything wrong with what happened there, but anyway. And both Garcelle's in her confessionals just like kind of more or less shading her, saying, girl, you wouldn't have time to do that. But also, I think she was still being a friend and not going too far and shading her, but she was just like, you wouldn't have time. Because all her businesses and stuff, you would not have time to do that. But Erica in her confessional is just like, oh my gosh. You could tell she didn't believe her, number one. And then she basically said she'd probably be like the worst lay ever. And I'm going to say this. For those who know, Erica and Sutton kind of don't really see it for each other. They do not like each other. But they're cordial. So it is really actually a huge surprise that Erica did not go off on her the multiple times as she could have this time. And honestly, she would have had a decent reason to do it. The problem is when Erica goes off, she goes like to hell. Like it's not, she doesn't just get her together and that's it. It's normally like she goes the extreme. And that's how most a lot of Real Housewives are. They just go the extreme. But so it does make sense why Erica would shade her the way she did. But I would be equally annoyed too after you just literally threw a fit about perceived sexual acts, but yet we're now talking raunchy in public at a restaurant. It's confusing. I'm confused. As a viewer, I'm confused. Anyway, so then next, we have, I apologize if you hear this in the background, but I literally have had construction. I don't even know where the construction's coming from, but someone's been having construction in my building for the past like couple days, and it's been really annoying. So if you can hear it in the video, I hope you can't, but I'm just saying that I apologize if that's what you're hearing. But anyway, so then next, the question is, what's the best compliment you received? And Crystal states that she has perfect nipples, according to her. And then Dorit has her normal shocked Dorit look that she has. She's like, I was not expecting that. And then also Sutton steps in. She's like, yes, I've been told that too. Again, it's confusing. Like, Sutton, what are you doing? I want to be on Sutton's side so badly, usually. And I'm trying not to pick a side, but I mean, I'm invested in the show enough where I'm going to have some biases. It's pretty clear. But anyway. So Crystal states to Dorit, like, well, you should expect that. And it looks like a fight was about to break out. And even Dorit was like, wait, what? And then she's like, I'm just kidding. And it was giving, I liked when Crystal did that. I was like, yes, Crystal. But she did shade her in confessionals. She's like, I don't know if she would know what to expect because she hasn't seen a real body in over 10 years. I was like, ooh, the shade. These women this season are bringing in the confessionals, except for Kyle. Kyle thinks her shadiness doesn't land as well as everyone else's, in my opinion, because it's giving try too hard. But anyway. So then next, a sparkler of like of a giant birthday sundae appears at the table, and it was so big that like all of them could eat it easily, and it still would be too much. It was huge, like it was like this big, full of ice cream and sundae, and like honestly, my mouth was kind of watering because I haven't had ice cream in over a year. It was like. But anyway, so then the next question, after the, wait staff and all that leaves, Kyle asks, like, how many sex toys do you ladies have? And Sutton states that she has a lot. And then Dorit, just like me, is still confused because none of us is understanding Sutton's behavior. It doesn't make sense. And hopefully we get some resolve in next week's episode where someone brings it up to understand why. I don't know. It seems like to me, Sutton, this episode was so flip-floppy about her behavior. I don't want to agree with Dorit saying Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, because I think that's like a over extreme case. And I don't think it was even that, but it was very flip-floppy. You go from one thing to the other and it didn't make sense. And they're all related. Like, but again, maybe because I don't have that kind of prudeness about me, I can't understand it. I don't know. So dinner's over with. They're retiring for the night. It really isn't much to the scene. Basically, they show, because Erica has her own room and Crystal has her own room. And then they just show Kyle and Dorit discussing Sutton's behavior and why they're just kind of like, what was that about? And they're confused by it. And then we also see Sutton and Garcelle and their banter, and they look like an old married couple, and it's quite comical. Like they're scratching each other's back. Sutton will not go to bed, and Garcelle's like, go to bed. You're doing too much. And I love Sutton, but I don't know if I would be able to room with her. She seems so annoying to room with. I was like, next time, can you just get your own room? I would love rooming with like Garcelle though, because Garcelle was pretty chill and down to earth this whole time. But anyway, so then we go to the next day, and Kyle's at the gym at 6 a.m. and in Vegas, and all the women have comments about it, particularly Erica and Dorit, because Erica goes into Dorit and Kyle's room, and then they start talking about it, and they're being so extra about it, saying it's so extreme that she's going to the gym like this. It's this, that, and this, and that. And maybe I feel personally attacked a little bit because I am one of those people that would do that on vacation. Like, I still work out while I'm on vacation, and I like working out while I'm on vacation. It makes me feel good. And also, she's not drinking, so she's not hungover, so there's no reason for her not to go work out. And they're just like, this behavior is not sustainable. It's so extreme. And I don't know if they realize that it comes across a certain way to certain people, but I don't agree with their take on it personally. I don't know how long it took for Kyle to get to this. Maybe that's why they feel that way. But because I am someone that's in that lifestyle more as far as like working out, going to the gym first thing in the morning, and I am one of those people when I'm on vacation, I book a hotel. I try to have a hotel that has a gym if I'm the one who's booking it and it's just me and me only. Or I try to be close to like a gym, or I go hiking or something. Like, I like active vacations. I don't like just going, which is why I actually did like Vegas, but I liked Vegas because I did not do the Vegas experience of staying in Vegas. I stayed outside of Vegas and hiked. So I'm kind of I'm Team Kyle on this one. This is one of those times where I'm just like, no, I see why Kyle would do that. And so she shows up looking gorgeous. I am liking how Kyle's looking these days. She looks so healthy. I love it for her. And if she could just sustain it, because I don't see it not being sustainable. It's a lifestyle change. That's all it is. Once you do that and make that a habit, it's second nature. For me personally, lately, I haven't been someone who's been into waking up early in the morning to go to the gym. Mainly because I'm trying to limit my driving. So I've been trying to go after work instead, and then run in the morning or do yoga in the morning before work instead. But I am someone who likes to work out before getting the day started. So I'm Team Kyle on that. But anyway, so all the ladies wake up, they gather together, and Garcelle does finally state what she said in the confessional. So, and this is one thing I love about Garcelle. Garcelle will just state how she feels actually to the ladies. So whatever she says in the confessional, she'll stand by and say it to your face. She's one of the few where she's not a shade assassin in the confessional, but then different in real life. What she says in the confessional, she's going to say it to your face. So she basically does do that. She explains to him like, hey, I wasn't being completely honest about my feelings yesterday. I am kind of not comfortable expressing what things are going on with my family because of everything that happened last year. And she acknowledges that what they said as far as trying to console her was super nice, but she's just being honest. And she pans back, talking in her confessional, saying, Kyle and Erica apologized, but just because they apologize and I accept their apology doesn't mean I am ready to forgive. Which is very understandable. Very understandable. And I would have my guard up too after that, because it was really, really mean girl energy and really bad spirit the way they treated her kids last season. Erica especially. Erica was the one who did all the stuff, and then the rest of them laughed about it. So she's clearly not talking about Crystal or Sutton, because they hang out. Like, so when she was talking to the girls, she was really just talking to them three. Kyle and Erica acknowledge her and be like, yeah, we understand. They don't take offense to it, but Dorit does. And this is where Dorit always loses me. This is exactly where Dorit loses me. And even Garcelle said this. She's like, this is where Dorit loses me. She is upset that Garcelle's upset about her behavior. And so she almost gaslights Garcelle and makes it about her because she's offended that Garcelle's upset, versus taking accountability to why she's actually upset. And Garcelle even mentioned, like, she talks a lot, but it's like she doesn't listen to everything that's being said. And it's very clear she didn't. And she took it as a personal attack. And so the scene concludes where they basically, disperse. Garcelle's upset now, and extra upset because Dorit is making it about her. So Garcelle excuses herself, and then they have this tension now. Dorit and Garcelle again. Because Dorit straight up gaslit her. And Kyle and Erica did not. Kyle was very understandable, was understanding where Garcelle was coming from, didn't take any offense. Erica, for sure, did not take any offense. Because I actually am seeing that Erica and Garcelle are really going to form a bond. I can tell it's happening. You could see it. Like, there's little seeds of it happening here. Because Erica didn't fly off the handle either. She definitely acknowledged it because Erica knew she was wrong. Like, Erica actually apologized about it last season. She did not wait until this year to apologize. Which, by the way, Kyle did apologize, but she apologized during the retreat on the first episode, which they did not show. Production, can y'all please, when people... Because I had questions about that, because I was just like, so only... Because on the first episode, they showed Dorit and Erica addressing their issues. And, well, not really. More like Dorit was addressing her issues towards Erica and Kyle addressing her issues. They did not show the rest of the ladies addressing any of their issues besides that. And I kind of felt a way that first episode thinking that Garcelle didn't get to get her things off her chest. And it turns out she did. And we didn't get to see it. Producers, can we please, when there's like that kind of a breakthrough moment like that, I would like to see that. You don't have to cut that out. I know you probably thought it wasn't interesting. To me, y'all could have cut some of the Dorit stuff out of there on the first episode and insert that and added more to that retreat. Because the retreat, to me, honestly, the first episode was the best part of the episode. I actually enjoyed the retreat part of the episode. Anyway, I just had to state that because they panned to a flashback showing that, but that was not aired originally. And also, I'm stating this like it wasn't aired originally even on Peacock, because I watched the Peacock version of the show. And Peacock, depending on some of the Real Housewives shows, they'll show unseen footages. Like for Real Housewives of Orange County, they'll show unseen footages. So I state that to be like, can y'all just do that for all the other Housewives shows too on Peacock? That should be the benefit of watching it via stream versus watching it on the network. Because that was one thing I did enjoy about the Real Housewives of Orange County. I would see unseen footages that the people who were watching on Bravo wouldn't see. And it wouldn't possibly come out until the reunion. I like that. I'm just saying. But anyway, that actually does conclude the episode. Again, it wasn't too long of an episode. I probably did drag it out more because I'm long-winded. But anyway, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And look, even says Run ATL. I like this shirt, by the way. Normally, before I conclude the video, I was going to mention, so you notice in one of my, the first 2 episodes of me reviewing the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I had different ambiance. I'm still filming in the same room, but I love this chair so much more, and it's just so much easier to get the reviews done this way. So anyway, sorry. More changes to come though with that, but please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.